Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Super Mini-Pla set for GoLion, or Voltron as it was known here in the United States. You can see you get the 5 individual lions that then come together to form GoLion or Voltron. Turn this around, top of the box, which again shows the 5 lions. I'm just going to call him Voltron from now on, sorry guys, he's Voltron to me. But it looks really good. These two sides look the same. Over here you just have a picture of Voltron. Over here you have another picture of Voltron. Nothing going on the bottom. But if we open these up, you can see the individual boxes for each lion. And then it has some really cool poses. All the weapons can combine, which is really awesome. But it looks like every single one of these boxes is pretty much exactly the same with the exception of the number telling you which lion's inside. So nothing super exciting to show you there as far as the boxes go. But I'm going to go ahead and start building this and then we'll take a look when I'm finished. Alright, so here are the 5 lions fully assembled and stickered up. Not too terrible with the stickers, I would say probably 10 to 15 individual stickers per lion, which I know sounds like a lot, but most of them are used on the head. And a lot of times it's just different colored plastic pieces for the different colors, which is really nice. But I'm going to break it down and take a look at each of these. Well, I'll probably do Black Lion by himself and then the 2 arms and the 2 legs. So let's take a closer look. Alright, so here is the Black Lion. I like him quite a bit. You can see how he has his kind of mouth weapon. Every lion has a weapon that they can carry in their mouth that matches the color lion they are. And it's kind of neat. They all come with these side accessories as well, and all the mouth weapons and side accessories can all form a giant cannon all together, which we'll take a look at a little bit later in the video. But so I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side. He's got these 2 kind of basic side cannons. They're pretty much identical, just kind of mirrored. But fairly good. Very simple, but they get the job done. A little extra firepower. So I'm going to go ahead and put these off to the side as well. Now you can see you have these little yellow pieces, and these are going to be used for the arm connections later on when we form Voltron. But overall, I think he looks great. A lot of nice articulation on this guy. I think the neck looks a little weird, but that really has to do with the way he forms the head of Voltron. I'll show you that a little bit later. But this connection is on a ball joint here at the base of the neck. So you can go up, you can go down, you can go side to side. You have a swivel here. Mouth can open, and you can see the head stored inside there. And then these are stickers. The gold eyes are stickers. I think the red is a sticker as well, but I believe everything else, well, the silver is a sticker. But all the white and everything is painted, so that looks really nice. This number 1 is a sticker. The silver here is a sticker. Gold in the middle, which I have to, that's a minor, super minor complaint, but that gold is not the same color as the yellow. I would have liked them to be the same color. Not a huge problem. And then, of course, you can see all the chest down here. All this belt stuff is stickers, as you can probably tell. Although I have to say, the blue, red, and red-green on this crest are stickers, and I think they look perfect. They look like they're painted. Now, you can see here the way this waist is. This piece is not secured. And I wish that pegged in. I'm wondering if it's because of how the ab crunch kind of works. There's a ball joint in there. So I'm wondering if, you know, they decided to leave that loose so that I could fill in the space when you move it around. I wonder if it was too rigid the other way, but I just don't like that it rattles. Articulation, you can pull these out a little bit. So you can get a little bit more movement around in there. Obviously, you can move it up and down. You have the movement here in this joint. You have the movement here in this joint. You have the same here and here. This can move because this will become Voltron's thigh swivel, as well as these are his waist joints. So down, out to the side. Looks pretty good. So I have to say, overall, really like the look of the Black Lion. I think he's got a great amount of articulation. And I think the head looks really good. So let's move on to the 2 arms. So here are the red and green lions. Kind of tiny. In comparison to the Black Lion we just took a look at, you can see much smaller. But there's one thing about these that the model kits can do that I feel like no other version of Voltron has been able to do, and that's actually have the lions like sit down on their hind legs. And then you can actually like make the necks crane. And I've always liked that. I think that looks pretty cool. But to show you that a little bit better, first I'll show you these little side weapons. And they just peg very simply into the side there. But you have this little side gun. You have this little side missile launcher. And then of course you have the giant mouth blade, which you just open up the mouth. And then this actually pegs, you can see, into the roof of the mouth there. So now you can see what I'm talking about, where you can have the actual movement in the neck there so that they can kind of sit. And that's something that I felt like they always did on the show a lot, and you can actually do that with these model kits. That wasn't something you could ever really do previously. But you can see there's movement there, there's this, the mouth opens and closes. And you can see the stickers, so you can see on the ears, the eyes, the silver in the middle, and then actually these white pieces on the side, right here and here, are stickers. But you get really nice ball joints here, where the legs connect to the body. Swivel, swivel, and really all four legs are the same. You have movement here, and actually when it turns into the arm, you can pull this out and you actually get a double elbow joint, which is pretty cool. We'll see that a little bit more later on. But yeah, I really like the look of these two lions. I think they're small, but they're really excellently designed, and I love the way their tails are. So let's take a look at Green. He's always been like, red's been more boxy and green's kind of more rounded, and they both look fantastic. Get that little pop of red there. Again, you have the two numbers. Those are stickers there. You have this side gun. Not too much going on there. And then you have this weird spiky thing. I never really understood what this is. But again, they just peg in. And then you have the mouthpiece. Mouth weapon. Again, just pegs into the hole in the roof of the mouth. And then he's got pretty much all the same articulation that Red has. And he looks absolutely fantastic. Now, the way these guys transform, you could fold up the legs if you wanted to. If you really wanted to go for that like truly authentic looking Voltron. But as you can see, it just gets really clogged up really quickly. So what they want you to do, and I'll bring in all this crazy kibble, because there's going to be quite a bit. Well, I don't have to bring them all in. You'll see them all later. But you get these little extra pieces. And what they want you to do is completely pop the legs off and then take these little pieces. I guess this one goes in the front. And you just peg it on top. There's a little notch so you can peg it in correctly. And so they want you to put these little pieces, so it's like, cause kind of sometimes on the show, like the legs would go in and then kind of disappear, you know, because like there's a magic component to GoLion or Voltron. So you have this piece, which looks fantastic for the robot mode, but then you're going to have all of this leg kibble, and that's just really a shame. So I know it's asking too much to make them super detailed, but have the legs like completely hide within the body. They're just not big enough to do that. So you can't really have it both ways. If you want somewhere where the legs really compact in and stay inside with the toy, then I would recommend the Playmates ones. But for this Mini-Pla set, you're going to take the legs off just for the pure aesthetic of the finished robot mode. They also give you these bigger heads. Now, honestly, you can see they're not a ton bigger, but I think they're just a little bit more suited to be hands for Voltron. You can see that they hold something on the inside of the roof of the mouth there as well. And they have some guns on the inside, which is kind of cool. So we'll get to that later on in the transformation. But Green also comes with the shield. which you can see looks pretty good. And then red, of course, comes with the blazing sword. This thing looks beautiful. Perfectly painted silver piece. And then you can see this paint here in the hilt. This is a red sticker, but this is all paint here, which looks fantastic. So I'm loving the sword. But yeah, so we'll get into this during the transformation later, but here are the two lions and they look great. Alright, so here is blue and yellow. Once again, you each have two side accessories. Guess this is some kind of missile launcher. And then I'm not quite sure what this is. I think it fires some kind of beam. Not 100% sure on that one. And then, of course, you have the three-bladed dagger for the mouth of the lion. Otherwise, I think the lions look great. I will say they look a little thin just in this area. And you're going to see why that is later. But great job with the heads. Again, the eyes are stickers. This is one big sticker on top. Stickers all here. 3 separate stickers on the side. The white for the kind of mouth of the lion is a sticker. And the silver running this stripe in the middle. And then just the 4. And then these little silver bits on the side here are also stickers. But otherwise it looks pretty good. Now you're going to run into the same problem where you're going to have to pop all the legs off. But really all the legs have the same articulation. Ball joint in this joint, swivel and swivel. So they're all exactly the same. Tail has some movement. With the other lions, the tails just kind of move. Well, actually, black lions moves up and down, but the green and red really just swivel in place. I mean, they can move a little bit, but this is really more for the shoulder joint. But these actually collapse into the body, which you'll see a little bit later on. So that's why they have that extra joint. And then yellow has this double missile launcher. This weird spiky shooty thing. And then a mouth blade. And these also peg into the roof of the mouth. But yellow looks pretty good. Love the combination of red, yellow, and black. I think that looks great. These on the side don't open. I know in the original toy they could open. They had like a hinge, but they don't here. But yeah, overall, love these lions. Think they look fantastic. Great points of articulation. Stickers are easy to apply and look relatively good, I have to say, depending on if you just take your time. They look pretty good when you're done. But let's go ahead. Oh, I forgot to show you real quick. These guys also come with larger heads. Now these, I will say, it's a little bit more drastic, and that's because these are going to become big toes. So I completely understand why you want a little bit more of a larger flat head for stability when it comes to feet for Voltron. And then you have these giant pieces, which we'll get into in a minute. So let's go ahead and let's form Voltron. So first up, we're going to go ahead and get the arms ready. And like I said previously, you're just going to pop off every single one of these legs. Now the nice thing is, if you compare the legs from the green and the red, you can see how green has that kind of slit, the vertical line, and that's how you can tell them apart. So that if you kind of just chuck them in a bin, which is I kind of bought like a little tub to keep these all in because it's a lot of pieces to keep track of. When you do eventually want to put them together as lions, you'll know which legs go where. So putting that all off to the side, pulling off the tails. There we go. As far as the tails go, I think they're almost identical. So yeah, I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference between the two tails. Then you're going to just completely pop off the heads. Put all this to the side. Going to bring in your new heads. Just peg them right in. No problem there. No problem there. You can go ahead and extend out that piece that I showed you before. And then this white piece in the back, you're going to swivel down so that it's all ready to peg in. Now you're going to bring in all your little circle joints. And once again, you're going to go by the slits, as I showed you earlier. When you have the one that's kind of has the circle towards, there's the empty space, that's how you can tell they go in the back. And you can see how there's that little peg, and there's a little spot, so that tells you how to put them on. So you just peg that on there. Again, look for the slit. Peg that on there. Here's another one. So you're going to want the lines going vertically. And then where is my last one? Here we go. So there is your green lion arm. Now at this point, this can swivel. So you're probably going to want to get yourself an elbow joint. Like that. So there's your green arm all ready to go. Take your red arm. And you're going to want to attach these exactly the way we did with the other ones. Oops, or I could shoot that one across the room apparently. And there you go, extend this out, swivel around so you get your elbow joint. And then you have your 2 arms of Voltron ready to go. Alright, getting the legs ready. Very similar. Pop all of the legs off. Popping the legs off the legs. Put this all off to the side. Eesh. And these are the same way, where one has the smooth and one has the line, so you can tell them apart, which I do find convenient. And you won't be able to confuse them with the arms and legs because they're much larger. So that will not be a problem. Alright, so you have your giant pile of legs. You're going to fold the tail in, and it will collapse on itself. So you can see it just sits like that. You're going to go ahead and unpeg your lion head. Peg on your new lion head, and then you're going to swivel this up. And you can see that this piece forms kind of a natural heel, which is nice. And then you're actually going to want to take your this part, you just kind of put your thumb right here, and pull this down. And what that's going to do is give you a swivel. So you can get ankle tilts. Yeah, ankle tilts. So put that there. Take your blue line, fold that down. Unpeg your blue lion head. Sub in your new blue lion head. Rotate this up. And pull this part down. Oops, we forgot the side pieces. So basically you're going to do, they're much thicker this time, but you're going to do the exact same thing where you take the bigger ones and put them on the bottom. And then take the smaller ones. Actually, yeah, these are smaller. These go on the sides here. And these don't have any kind of rhyme or reason to them. They just have these hexagons. The other ones had those little slits, so you had to line them up. So there's that leg. These kind of look like coins from Super Mario to me. But you take these, make sure you have the smaller ones, they go on the top. Pop these on here. There we go. And now we have our 2 legs. Now this is actually kind of cool. It's hard to see, but there's just a cavity in here that the black lion legs are going to pop into, and it kind of loosely secures in there so that it's secure enough that they don't fall out, but it's you can pull them out easily when you need to convert back. So those are our 2 legs. Black line is actually very easy to convert. All you're going to do is pull out the front part of the legs. They just peg in there, which is very simple. So you're just going to put these off to the side. You're going to straighten out his bottom legs. No parts of these will come off at all. Straighten out his feet. Oops, and I realize you can't see this because I'm off the camera. So anyway, you straighten out his legs very simply like that. You're going to rotate these pieces around. So you can see that the red pieces line up. You're going to fold down the yellow pieces. You're going to come to the back, extend these, and you can see the right angle there. That is to stop on the back of the lion legs. Let me tilt the camera up here. You can go ahead and push the tail up. And then the head will rotate down and you can kind of push this in to get the head to come down. It's kind of nice that way. And then you will rotate that down, and you can see now that it's flush, the neck makes a lot more sense and looks better in general. And then you just pop out the little yellow horns. And there you go. There is the head of Voltron. Very nicely painted, I might add. No stickers on the face of Voltron. So there is the torso all ready to go. So let's get this guy combined. Alright, so we take the leg and we just slide it right into there. And you can actually see right here on the leg, there's these two lines. The piece of plastic is going to go in between there, and that's what's going to keep it in place. And it just goes down and it clicks, and you can see it doesn't fall off, but if I needed to pull it back off, just kind of wiggle it and it comes out actually pretty easily. So it's a really ingenious way to do it. Oop, that didn't really sound that great. Eesh. But no, it's still good. Sometimes it does sound terrible, but it's perfectly good. So go ahead and do this with both. Alright, there are your legs. Let me pan up a smidge. And then you just come, peg this right onto here. And do the same with, whoops, I forgot to get this piece ready on red. And then you just peg that right in. And there you go. You have Voltron, Defender of the Universe. And he looks awesome. I love this guy. Now he's a little forward, but we can fix that. You do have the thigh swivel, so you can pull that out. And that's the other thing, like, you wouldn't be able, if you had the legs just straight hanging on here, you wouldn't be able to put them right next to each other like that. So you do have this awesome ankle tilt. So let's go ahead and get that in effect. You can pull the legs out to the side a little bit. Now you can see it does feel like it's falling forward a little bit. And if you want, you can kind of push that in a little bit. Once you have where you want the tilt to be, you don't have to leave it all the way exposed out or pulled all the way out. And that way, that kind of makes him stand a little bit better. But yeah, I love this guy. He looks fantastic. So you have the head can swivel. It's on a ball joint, move up and down. You have the movement here in the shoulder. You can get that out to the side. You have the two elbow joints. So you got a nice range of motion there. The heads, of course, can turn because they're just on a peg. You have kind of a ball joint in the torso. Swivel side to side. You have all the front to back and out to the side of the hip that I showed you, as well as the thigh swivel. And then you do still have that elbow joint, or knee joint, which is actually the lower joint of the leg of the black lion. And then, like I said, you have the ankle tilt as I showed you. So, absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and get the blazing sword. So, peg right here, peg on the inside of the mouth. Let me go ahead and get that in there and then close up the mouth. And there you go. That is a fantastic looking blazing sword. I'm going to tilt the camera up a smidge so we can get that all in frame there for the most part. Now we can go ahead and bring in the shield as well, which pegs in same way. You put the peg right there on the side of the shield. Peg that in, close the mouth. I mean, that's just phenomenal. And just for fun, I have the KO of the vehicle Voltron that I bought. And they're actually decently in scale with each other. It's kind of hysterical. Obviously, this is the better toy, but I mean, for $6, you can't really complain. And I think they actually look fairly good together. They're fairly in scale. He's a little bit shorter, but it is fun. So I love the look of this. I absolutely love the look of this. It looks fantastic. If you want a beautiful articulated Voltron that you can break down into the 5 lions, but still will look fantastic on your shelf. And honestly, it's a fun build. When you're putting the legs of the lions together, it gets a little monotonous because it's literally just like the same 3 pieces over and over again, you know, times 12 or 16 rather. So that gets a little monotonous, but they really are a fun build, and I think that the model or the figure that you're left with is absolutely fantastic. But there is one more thing we can check out with all those extra weapons. So if you remember, we have 2 accessories in gray from each lion, as well as the mouth blade accessories. So I am absolutely going to have to refer to the directions here because I am never going to figure this out on my own. Take the red blade from the red lion and the 2 guns from the black lion. And you can see that they have that slit on the side. So you want to have the bottom part of the blade facing forward. And then you want to take this with the peg facing straight up and slide these on here. So you can see this rectangular peg is going to peg into this part right here. So you go ahead and do that on both sides. Okay, so you got that going on. Then you're going to take the yellow blade and peg that in here to the side, just like that. And then you're going to take the lava cannon from the red lion, this little guy right here, and peg this onto that side. And then just kind of line that up. So that is the starting point. Then you're going to take the blue lion's blade, and you can see that there's 2 peg holes right there, and they're going to peg onto these 2 pegs. Right like that. So there you go. This is the front part of the super giant blade. You're going to take this and this, both of yellow lion's pieces, and you're going to peg that into this. So just like that. Is that right? Or do I have it backwards? No, I have it backwards. You can see the other peg hole right there. So peg those in like that. So once you have, I think it goes like this, you take the green mouth blade and you peg that on top from the 1 peg right there into that peg, like that. And then you're going to peg these 2 into the back of these 2, like that. So you can see we're making some progress here. Next, we're going to take the, I guess, missile launcher. What do they officially call this? Triple barrel mortar cannon. There you go. And then you're going to take this shoulder cannon, which I still am not quite sure what this does, but you're going to peg this into this. And then you're going to take this from the green lion and peg that into this spot right there. And then you're going to take the pieces that are left over, this right here, which I believe... Oh no, I'm sorry. They want you to take this and peg in the black. You can see that there's 2, well maybe you can't. There's a peg hole right there and a peg hole right there, and that's going to peg into these 2 on the bottom. At least it's supposed to. Oh, you know what? I'm doing it wrong. It pegs in like this. sideways. Then you take these two and you peg this into the back here. It's supposed to stay. There we go. And then that pegs into the back of this. You can see how there's a rectangular peg. So that pegs in there like that. And then this whole beast pegs into the back of this. And there you go. There is the massive cannon made up of all the extra shoulder bits and mouth blades. And then this can be wielded by Voltron. So I've removed the blazing sword. This same peg that was used to fit into the roof of the mouth of the red lion before. And we're probably going to want to straighten out the arm so we can actually accomplish this. Because it's kind of massive. But peg that in there. And there you go. Now he is wielding the giant cannon. And you just kind of have to make sure the wings don't get in the way. Eesh. There we go. How about that? So he's got the crazy giant cannon. I personally like the blazing sword better, but I appreciate that they decided to take all of these weapons instead of just having them be kibble pieces you throw somewhere, like all the legs you're already doing that with. They gave it some kind of functionality, which I think is kind of neat. So at the end of the day, I love this model kit. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. My only complaint is the fact that you do really have to pop off all of the lion legs and then just keep them somewhere. I mean, I pretty much just bought a little bin and I just have, I mean, that's a ton of legs to keep around. So it is a lot of stuff to keep track of, but you're left with a really great looking Voltron figure. I mean, he's got great articulation, great paint applications. The stickers that you do have to apply really aren't that big a deal. They end up looking really good in my opinion. You got a great range of articulation. I just think it's a fantastic figure. It was a fun build, and what you're left with is a really nice version of Voltron. I did see this at Barnes & Noble, actually. So if you missed that on the Japanese version, check out your local Barnes & Noble. They have it all together in one box, and it says Voltron Legendary Defender on it, like the new Netflix show, even though this is clearly the classic Voltron / GoLion. So if you missed that on the Japanese version, not too late. Check your Barnes & Noble. They do have some model kits there, and I did see this. So you can definitely check it out there as well. I forgot to look at the price. I apologize, but it's definitely a great model. I really do think what you're left with looks really, really great. If you can get over the fact that you have to keep track of your lion legs. But I do think in the long run, aesthetically, it does look better to take them off. So I understand why they made that choice, and I'm okay with it. You just really have to make sure you don't lose them. But everything about this set, besides that leg gimmick, is great. I love the individual lions. I love the combined Voltron. I definitely think it's worth checking out if you're a Voltron fan. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.